Hello everyone, this is a winter weather update, which is doesn't happen very often here in the Ark-La-Tex, but we are looking at the chance for some snow to fall across the area tomorrow morning, primarily right around just after daybreak and going up until about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. There's no serious accumulations expected with this. Trace to a dusting in some areas, and if you get on up here into Oklahoma, north of Texarkana and outside of the Ark-La-Tex range up here and in western Arkansas, we could see some accumulations of 2 to 3 inches up in that area. We'll run through all that here in just a second during this update. For right now, we are looking at the pivotal weather site, and it's a site that uses that has several different models. This is where forecasters and the Weather Channel and people, the KSLA and everyone you see on TV, this is where they go in. They look at all these different models. There's several of them here, just to give you a look at a few of them. The HER or the HRRR is the one we're using today. Anyway, what we're looking at right here is the reflectivity with preset type, and what that means is what the model is expecting to see and what it thinks it's going to what form it thinks it's going to be in. The blues and pinks here are indicated by as snow, and the greens, of course, are rain. Now here's the legend down here in the bottom, where you can see. Getting into the purples, as we're seeing here in parts of East Texas, and we'll eventually move into Caddo Parish here in a minute. That's indicating pretty significant snowfall rate. But unfortunately for the kiddos, it's just going to be a little bit too warm for any of this to really stick around. Hang on a second. I'm touching the page when I shouldn't. Okay. Now this is looking at 6 a.m. and you can see that over here in East Texas, Northeast Texas primarily is looking at a light to moderate snowfall, with just light rain. Probably gonna have some sleet mixing in with some of this rain, and some snowflakes as well, mixing in. This is saying it's gonna be around 6 a.m. Jumping ahead to 7 a.m., you see a relatively heavy band. I'll zoom in on that a little bit. A relatively heavy band of snow setting up right here, right kind of over the I-20 corridor in East Texas, down towards Joaquin and Center down here, and then up towards about Marshall and on up to the Caddo Lake area. Could be some pretty heavy snowfall right there. It'd be really nice to look at. Of course, it degree or two difference, and it could be heavy, just some moderate to heavy rain. But that's how these things tend to play out here in the Ark-La-Tex. We're going to jump ahead to the 8 o'clock hour, just as everybody's getting to work and getting to school, and you see that moderate to even possibly heavy snow has moved into the Caddo Parish area, extending down to North Dakota. And don't focus on exact locations. This is going to change a little bit. This is just one of several forecast models, and every one you look at is going to be a little bit different. This happens to be my favorite. But I mean, this could be a little bit different. The heavier snow could be a little bit further east or west or further south. The snow could end up extending further south, and with just a temperature degree, changing a degree or two could change this whole system. So it could turn it to an all rain event where we see little to no snow, or it could turn it to a more snow event where we see more snow. Even if that were the case, I think the absolute heaviest accumulation you'd be looking at is in the inch range, half inch. And we'll look at what the forecast models are saying about that in just a second. Let's go on into the morning hours here. This is 9 a.m. and you see that transition is starting to take place. 10, Still a little bit of snow over here into Webster Parish, looks like now. And then the later we go, it just transitions to all rain, unless you're up here in Arkansas where you keep the snow around all day, and they have the chance to see some decent accumulations up here. All right, we're gonna go to the temperatures. Nope. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Okay. And then we'll start at 6 a.m. Same time we started the reflectivity loop. And you see here, Shreveport is looking around 34 degrees, 33 up here around Texarkana, 39 over, looks like about around Tyler, actually, a little west of Longview. But you notice up here, you're closer to the freezing mark, and even into Arkansas is just below freezing. This is where I expect to see the biggest accumulations is over in this area, because they're going to be in snow primarily almost all day. It's going to be almost all snow event for them up here. But for us, it really depends on this temperature. Now, a couple of degrees above freezing does not mean that the snow is gone. We could still have snow because we have a very deep layer of cold air aloft, which means as the moisture is falling through the air, it's falling as snow. And then the temperatures that are above freezing are just a very thin layer of air right at the ground. Right, it's the air that we actually feel. And it just doesn't have time to melt the snowflake before hitting the ground, which is why we see snowfall. And have the potential to see snow versus rain tomorrow. And these temperatures, they're not going to change a whole lot through the day. I mean, we running up to 1 o'clock, and you're still only in the upper 30s in the Shreveport area, and well as area wide around the Ark-La-Tex, with a few pockets up here of 34, 33, a couple of pockets closer to 2. And this is probably up in the mountainous areas in the higher terrain up through here. But anyway, I'm going to switch pages real quick, and we're going to look at the total snowfall accumulation. And we will start that again around the same time. Start a little bit earlier. It's 5 a.m. Alright, so 5, 6, 7 a.m. And you see, we are getting some accumulation up in here. And there's some soundings there showing 1 to 2 inches, but those are going to be in very isolated areas. Mostly it's going to be less than an inch. And this accumulation is going to occur on your grassy surfaces, maybe a little bit on your rooftop of your house, tops of your cars that have been parked up all night, things like that. This does not look like it's going to be a major winter weather event that's going to close roads and close schools and things like that. But with that being said, the timing of this coming in just before and even during maybe possibly the heaviest the snow will be right around the rush hour, right around 8 a.m. and people's trying to get to work at school. You do want to slow it down a little bit. There could be a few slick spots here and there. So just slow it down a little bit. Take it easy on the bridges. Give yourself a little bit extra time. Other than that, shouldn't be no major issues. And we'll go forward in time. And you see that accumulation is spreading south just a little bit. And actually, the heaviest is looking to be over in Oklahoma, not Arkansas. But anyway. And you see, now we've got trace amounts. This is an inch or less. Coming down into possibly parts of North Caddo Lake area down here. Headed up towards DeKalb, a little more over their way. New Boston's up in that area. Texarkana could have a trace, or maybe up to half inch or so. And guys, this is not my forecasting. I do not get into forecasting. I promise you I would get it wrong every time. I'm just going off what this one model says, and you got to understand there's tons of models out there. There's 12 or 13 or so just on this one app alone, and that's not all of them. That's just the main ones. The Her, or the HRRR, is a favorite of mine, and it's a favorite of others. We especially use it a lot during times when we're storm chasing. I'll show you over here. We have a whole column just for severe weather, and this is different things looking for tornado parameters, and mixed layer cape, and all the things that we look for in severe weather. And of course you got reflectivity down there, and other things like that. But anyway, but as far as our event goes, it looks like it will be relatively brief, maybe a couple hours of snowfall here in the Shreveport area, a little more further north if you're in the northern Ark-La-Tex, up around Texarkana, or especially over towards, it's really hitting hard right over in this area for whatever reason, which is just outside of the Ark-La-Tex, and just the extreme northern part of the Ark-La-Tex right through there. But I just wanted to get on here, guys, give you a little update. It's a little bit easier doing the video update like this rather than trying to type it all out and post a bunch of pictures. This may be something new that I start getting into when I'm not out chasing during like severe weather. I'm going to try to start going live rather than just doing a video. I'm going to actually try to go live and keep everyone updated and keep everyone safe, you know, if I'm not out there chasing. But anyway, I hope everyone has a good evening. Everyone stay safe out there, and keep an eye on the roads in the mornings as you're getting off to work and school. And as always, stay weather aware and keep an eye to the sky. Later.